2020, the Midland, Michigan Stove Team was allowed to return to Guatemala. We were greeted with a sign welcoming us, and we are ready to work. We are a team of 15 people from Midland and Florida, mostly engineers, a nurse, and a photographer. Billy and Mauricio give us words of encouragement as we begin our trip for 8 hours up to Nabana. We pass the sites of the villages as we leave the city behind, and the prosperity becomes less and less. We see the people in the local marketplaces. We watch them coming back out into the market. We stop at a tourist spot and we buy hats. We are still tourists, and the newbies still aren't quite sure what to expect. As we back onto the bus, we notice that the price of gas is almost $4.50 a gallon. As we continue through the marketplaces, there's chatter among the bus, and the newbies still don't know exactly what to expect. But there's no way that we can describe the experience until they've been through it. We maneuver the narrow roads until we reach the town square in Naba. I feel like we are home. We gather at the hotel for a stove demonstration while Joe and I inventory the tool packs. We are going to go to some remote towns this year. We are traveling 3 hours to go maybe 10 or 15 miles to the village of San Juan Quetzal. The people in the village are waiting for us. They present us with purses made by the people of the village. We are very touched that they are here to greet us. Tom gives a little welcome, and then we grab our backpacks and we are ready to work. Our mission is to replace the old open pit fire with a new O'Neill stove vented to the outside, along with giving them a water filter for clean drinking water. We grab our stovepipes and we begin the long hike up from the valley and down again. These are villages that have not been serviced before. We are the first people who have come to see them. We also are presenting them with food bags. The level of poverty is extreme. The homes are slats of wood, corrugated metal roofs, many well-worn, making sawing the hole a difficulty. I noticed many of the nutritional signs, posters up on the sides of the houses from Save the Children. As we arrive at the homes, the children are sitting waiting for us. The men are there to help. We are here to install 120 O'Neill stoves. I undo my backpack and I have a little visitor of a duck. We are ready to work and we are prepared to cut the roofs. Tom crimps the extra pieces of stovepipe that are needed to reach the high roofs. The rest of the team gets to work. It is amazing to see the faces of the children. They are the heart and soul of what brings us here. They pose for the camera and follow me around. They have captured all of us. The conditions they are living in are not so wonderful, but I see many nutritional and hygiene signs from Save the Children. Onions and trash continue to be an issue that needs to be dealt with soon. We see many of the homes with their grown corn drying. Their laundry is hanging out on the clotheslines. We have one more home to go to, and it is back down a hill and then back up a very steep steps, back to the bus. As we begin to return to the bus, we are exhausted. It's been our first day, but we are gratified. We have installed 30 O'Neill stoves, 30 water filters, and 30 bags of food. We are very grateful for the town leaders and the interpreters, for the people of this region do not even speak Spanish. They speak Ashil. We make one last trip down the hill to the baño before boarding the bus to head for home. As we say goodbye to the people as they light their stove, there are tears of joy. Tuesday morning, we cannot even get to the town of Cancaquil by bus. We board trucks and we head through some beautiful terrain as we watch the mountains. Stephanie's husband Hans, who's come for the first time, among with Bruce and Bob, are a little bit leery this morning, but have a new appreciation for what we do. We stopped along the way to find time to take team pictures. The landscape is beautiful, but traveling by truck is always a challenge. The bumps in the road are getting bigger and more frequent, but we are happy to be here. I capture everyone's note. Kevin is still trying to keep us under control. We arrive at town and they are all decorated and ready for us. The town leaders are there representing all the villages. They take us to their homes. Again, the walk is difficult, but to see the faces on the people when they receive their stove is worth all the exhaustion. The new baby brought tears to our eyes when we think that these children, all may have a better chance at life. We saw one family with 3 generations. They all pitched in and helped. This young woman weaving her fabric was right off the loom. We get back in our trucks and we head home. We pass a beautiful waterfall. Wednesday is more of the same treacherous terrain. We have to cross a bridge that had been washed out by the hurricanes and is being replaced by railroad ties. But that does not detour us. We are on our way to a town called Chicots. The people are there waiting. We arrive in the back of the truck, a little bit bruised, but happy to be there. Again, the town leaders are waiting for us. They are all assembled, and they are ready to take us to their homes. Again, we see open pit fires that will need to be replaced. We had one roof that was brand new. The little girls followed us around from place to place and then led us up to the paths to the next home. It is amazing that they do this every day. The women sat and watched and were so proud when they could light the fire. Some of the homes were a little more treacherous and a little more difficult to get to the roofs. But as we stood and looked out at the terrain and the beautiful view, again, we were grateful to helps for being. It is the faces of the children that always are so beautiful. This is a family with 3 little girls, one only 4 weeks old. And I could not stop crying when I thought of the life that they are being offered now. The little girl drew us a picture. Then we took time to have some lunch. The old stoves will be removed by helps within a month, but once they see the new stove, they will understand its benefits. As we were finishing up the day, I was making a note that we have now saved for every stove 12 trees a year. Multiply that by 120. The teams gather one more time with the family and have a moment of prayer. Billy gives final instructions to the family on the use of the stove and also of demolishing the old stove. We watch some women grinding the corns out by the pigs and the turkeys. Our final day, we are back in the trucks, going back up the same road, only farther. We are at an elevation of about 9,000 feet. It is a little difficult to breathe, but the air is clear, the view is spectacular, and the people are wonderful. It is a town of poverty, but the children are absolutely beautiful. They enjoy seeing our tools and looking through our toolboxes. We also are so grateful for the water filter. As we finish, this woman is already cooking on her stove. Securing the stovepipe is always the toughest part, getting the hole through the roof. But once it is completed, to see the smiles on the family's face, it is worth the effort. Gwen, with the guidance of Kevin, takes her turn at sawing the hole. I take a time to view the landscape around us. The people are living in such beautiful country. There's the old and there are the new. The women are still washing their clothes with a bucket. A young boy showed me how to saddle his horse. He was on his way to Nabat. As the team started to gather, we watched a woman walking home carrying wood. We hoped that she would no longer have to do this. We had one last hill to climb, one last staircase to go up, but we did it well. Then we took a break for lunch, watching the children come across the square, wondering who we were. Joanne's last stove, she says thank you to Representative Stubbe for helping her get her passport to be able to come. Don and I sit on the back of the truck and contemplate all the beauty around us. It has been an amazing trip. We are at 9,000 feet. We have just completed 120 stoves, 120 water filters, and it is time to take a break and take a look around and appreciate where the Lord has led us. The clouds are moving in, the little doggy's biting my backpack, and it is time to pack up, say goodbye to these beautiful people. It is an emotional parting. After we have been together for so many years and shared so many memories, maybe we'll come back on the chicken bus next time. But for sure, we will be back. The people of Guatemala are in our souls. As they get off the chicken bus and they prepare to go home, we watch the last team come up the hill. We sit and take a moment. We watch the horses go up the hill, everyone going back. Mike says it all. Kevin says it all with his smile. The teams are heading to the bus. It is starting to get dark, and it is time for the treacherous ride back down the hill.